Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another World of Warcraft video. As always, your host Papatello. You're probably like, what's going on right now? Fresh out the shower, minty fresh. Little conditioner, a little shampoo action. Much love to you. The 28-inch pythons right there on the bicep piece. You better lock it in. Settle down, editor. Clip this out at the end. But if you want to support the channel, check out the link below. Rested XP, your guide through all of Azeroth. And maybe Tello will send you a towel, why don't you? Use the link below. Support the boy, support the channel. If not, just like and subscribe. No big deal. Much love to you. I'll catch you in the next one. Don't get shot. Settle down, YouTube. You're on high alert, too. Pissing me off. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another World of Warcraft video. And listen, I might or might have not gotten just out the shower. You guys need to all calm down. I have no idea what you're talking about. I wasn't in the shower. That was a make-believe clip. Editor, I want that trimmed out, put it on the side of the template, and let's review the footage later. Settle down and lock it in. As always, with the Hydration Nation, brought to you by Poland Spring, even though we don't have the sponsor for Poland Spring yet. You will get shot, Mr. Poland Spring, in Minecraft. Settle down, YouTube, family-friendly as usual. Much love to ya. Oh, yes. This tastes like the PTR. Already the fires of Mordor is already burning at the walls over there, at the doors, at the gates. And everybody is yelling and complaining about each spec in class, and everything is horrible. Rip, sod, hype, kata, it seems to be right now. Settle down and lock it in, everybody. You already know it's hype, sod, big time over here. Big paladin tings. I got the phone ringing right now. What's going on? Settle down. Everybody's pissing me off. However, though, much love to you. I hope everyone's having a good day and a good week. In general, we're going to go over a couple things today. We're going to go over a couple Wowhead articles that I want to discuss with you. And we're saving a couple bits and pieces of information for another, lineup for a couple days of other videos we're going to crank out for you guys. And then we also will be streaming, of course, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be doing more Elden Ring stuff, and we're going to be doing more PTR stuff. We might even throw in a stream tomorrow night. So check out the Twitch. You already know down below, twitch.tv, hello JTello. Much love to you. However, let's continue with the video. So, in today's video, we have instance world bosses in Season of Discovery Phase 4 PTR. So, it seems like with the announcement of SOD Phase 4 PTR, Blizzard has revealed that world bosses such as Azeragos and Lord Kazakh will be receiving their own instances and will be tuned for 20-player raids. So, experience these two world bosses in brand new instance versions of these encounters. These encounters can be experienced up to 40 players, but will be tuned as 20-player content. Onyxia will be adjusted to accommodate 40 or fewer players with some additional loot adjustments, and we'll have more to share in the coming weeks beyond this brief overview, and have more in development for this this phase, and we can't wait for you to discover. You already know I stutter a lot, guys. Settle down, don't piss me off. Stay tuned to the official site for more information. Got a full Phase 4 preview. We look forward to bringing this endgame experience for Season Discovery to life. So, guys, I need to ask you, what do you feel about instant world bosses? Now, there's a discussion we can have about this. Real quick discussion. Nothing too crazy. Editor, zoom in a little bit. Why don't you? There we go. Let's get a little personal, though, about this. Much love to you. So, me personally, I feel like there's a couple ways you can look about this. The first way you can look about it is like, having that iconic feeling of bumping into a world boss and, it's randomly happening in the world, and then you just get all your friends online, and you're like, holy shit, like back in the day, you would normally do this, before the times of having to look up everything on YouTube and Wowhead, and just, get in there and have a good time with your buddies, and be like, yo, there's an epic world boss, everybody get online, we need healers, we need tanks, we have to get the tag, get the pull. That was something that was really exciting about the core experience of, World of Warcraft, especially Vanilla WoW. And I really think, in general, world bosses is something, in my opinion, is supposed to be, a rarity. Not everyone's supposed to get at it, you know what I mean? It's not something that's going to happen, but if you're there at the right place, right time, it's supposed to be an epic, phenomenal event. For some people. Some people will be like, nah, there's nothing epic or phenomenal about it. People just get the tag. I'm not at that point yet, so settle down before you get shot in MC. You already know the deal. Family-friendly YouTube. However, I think it's supposed to be some type of, organic experience when you see a world boss. That's just my opinion. But I see other people's opinions about this, and I've had other points brought up to me. For example, when I was talking to my boy Sky about this, and we were discussing about, how you have to think about it like this too. People camp these world bosses. on a daily basis, you know what I mean? And this has been something that's happened for a long time, whether it's bot accounts, etc., or people trying to grief you. They will steal the tag from you, and you will never have the opportunity to ever see a world boss. You know what I mean? Now, you could say it is different for Season of Discovery, because this is meant for a game at a time where things have, you know, was a more classic organic experience. But you have to remember, this is SOD. There's runes in the game. There's a whole bunch of things that is like tampering the way that the game was originally made. So it's not really truly vanilla or classic. It's almost like that mixed hybrid. Some people call it minus retail. They meme about it. They joke about it. There's a lot of things you can call it, right? But in general, I can understand the point of view of seeing like where, oh, you know, maybe bots will always, you know, take over this, and griefers will always grief this. People will never have the chance to do this. So in a way, I do think it's also cool that they have offered an instance version for people to do these world bosses or tackle this. It is extra content and stuff for people to do within Season of Discovery in general. So you know what, I'm not going to hate this totally. I don't think this is the worst game-breaking decision ever made from Blizzard. And trust me, you and I know both, Blizzard made a lot of bad fucking decisions. No offense, much love to you, Blizzard, but you don't have the best track record, let's be honest here. However, that's just me being quite frank with you. I'm never going to lie to you guys. I do think it's, you know, it's cool, but at the same time, I do like the rarity of it, and I'm not going to hate on it. It's not my place to hate. At the end of the day, us at the player base, we discuss these things together as a community, and I'm all here for discussion. I'll keep it at that. Settle down before you get hit. However, on to the next topic. Potential raid difficulty settings found in SOD Phase 4 PTR. So, it looks like, I actually saw this when I was streaming, as Sarf posted this on his Twitter. He showed that, spoilers, Molten Core will not just have one heroic difficulty, but 3 total difficulties. At least so far from what we can tell in the PTR, a screenshot from at Crix Vibes, the GOAT, and it shows here as the text reads, I am Hydraxis, Duke of the Waterlords. You are not an elemental and so cannot understand our struggle, but perhaps we can strike a deal that will benefit us both. Activate Heat Level 2 and activate Heat Level 3. So it seems like in the initial Molten Core, you know, raid that you do is going to have 2 extra heroic levels that you're going to be able to conquer and attack. Now, I don't know how I feel about this in, you know, overall, in totality of like, just, you know, all events in general. I do think it's interesting that they're deciding to add, I guess, a hard mode version of, you know, content to SOD. But another part of me doesn't know how I feel about loot being locked behind, you know, or gatekeeped behind harder level content. I understand that's something they do in retail. I totally get that. And it's actually interesting. I was on, I was on Asmon's stream earlier, and I was watching his point of view on this, and he doesn't agree with this. And he thinks that, you know, adding this type of level of hard difficulty to the game is something that's not something natural to, you know, classic WoW. And I can understand his point of view, 100%. I do think there's this really, I don't even know what to say, a divide in the community, or split, whatever you want to call it, between, you know, the line between, you know, serious players and casual players. But I think, you know, Blizzard is listening to a lot of the more serious players when it comes to this, and they are seeing that, you know, they want more active, harder level style of content, which in my opinion, I am not 100% against that. But at the same time, I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm not going to lie, I do think that's not something the overall grand scheme of World of Warcraft players want. Is something where content is super hard, where they are gatekeeped already. Now, you can look at the raid logs themselves from Ironforge and, you know, all the stuff that, the data that we've covered on this channel in general, just from logs alone, not overall, you know, data of the entire player base. But you could see that, you know, a lot of players, whether they were logging on their alts or not, the numbers went down a lot for those Sunken Temple, you know, numbers in comparison to last phase and the phase before that. And a lot of people didn't like Sunken Temple. For some people, or even most people that are just pugs of that category, they weren't able to even get all the way through Sunken Temple. They were stuck at 6 out of 8 or 5 out of 8, wherever they were stuck at. So a lot of people struggled with Sunken Temple, whether you are the average player or not. At the end of the day, if you're more a hardcore serious player, you more than likely banked out Sunken Temple. It's easy for you, no problem. But that's also because you surround yourself with people that are serious players like yourselves. You're not surrounding yourselves with the people that are the casual baseline. And obviously, whether we like to admit this or not, as World of Warcraft players, because trust me, I'm in the group where I see both ends, the casual player and the hardcore player. I've done both. I've chilled and relaxed, and I've also sweated on parses, so I understand both fucking sides. When you're rocking with the sweats, you don't give a fuck about the casuals. You don't care about their opinions. You don't care about what they're doing. You only care about doing the content, whether it's challenging or not, getting every single world buff, every single consumable, whatever you have to do to complete the raid in a fast time period and pump. And that's what a lot of these fucking, sweats think about. And it's just the truth. I don't care if it's exposing or not, or if people feel a certain type of way. I'm just being honest with you, because there's no filter on my mouth here. There'll never be a filter. But at the end of the day, I don't know if this is 100% for every single player in World of Warcraft to really, the casual. I'm representing the casuals here in this case, and I'm going to speak for them because they deserve their voice to be heard, if this is something that is meant for the game. I don't think making your game harder is something approachable, in my opinion. I think making your game funner, if that's a word, is something that you need to do. In my opinion, Blizzard, I think you need to make the game more fun rather than the game hard. Now, for some people, hard content is fun. And I think, like even when Asmon was saying a perfect example of this, because I'm going to give credit where credit is due, no matter what, who the source is, bigger or, below me, don't matter. He even brought up, the thing about, how Elden Ring, if you're going to, play Elden Ring and go through content that is obviously designed for you to beat it, it's challenging, but it's not super hard for you where you can't do it. You come back, you level up, you do your thing. But then there's games where it's like retail WoW, where there is an obviously, you do your mythics, you do your heroics. Some people can't even get past heroic. Some people just stick to normal. Some people pass heroic, but they can't get to mythic because it's too hard for them, etc. And you get gatekeeped at a certain point, and you'll never access that other entry of content that you'll never be able to get to do. And I just don't think that that's something that Season Discovery really needs. It needs more fun content. And just because something's hard doesn't equal fun. Challenging equals fun, but not hard equaling fun. That's just my opinion, guys. Don't rip me in the comments below. At the end of the day, I'll read them, but you will get... I'm already breaking my mic. Settle down. You will get what. Don't make me say it, or else I have to ban all of you. Ban them all, editor. Ban them all. Much love to you. However, that's just my opinion. Take with that information as you will, and then, talk to me. Go from there. So, data mined, item hints, and the account-wide attunement in Season of Discovery Phase 4 PTR. So, when it comes to, what we were seeing here going into Molten Core, more Molten Core information in general, experience Molten Core as a 20-player dungeon with 10 class bosses, revamped loop, redesigned Tier 1 sets, and more. Player will also be able to turn up the heat with a new variable difficulty mechanic. Don't forget your fire resist gear, you're going to need it, and we'll be adding one more surprise to Classic Raid Dungeon for I can't even pronounce this word, Intrepid Adventures to Discover. Unbelievable. Somebody get me back to English class. A Nixie will also be adjusted to accommodate 40 fewer players as well as loot adjustments, which we already discussed. But in addition to this announcement, we have data mined a new bind on account amulet, Chip Drakefire Amulet, which appears to be the updated version of the Drakefire Amulet. The amulet was originally rewarded from Anixia's Lair attunement quest and was required in order to enter the raid. The fact that this new amulet is bind on account may suggest that players will only need to complete the raid's attunement quest once, allowing their alts to freely enter the raid afterwards, which in my opinion, I think all around this is a W decision. I have no issues with this one, because at the end of the day, I think if you're gonna make alt characters, which to be honest with you, a lot of players in Season Discovery have made a lot of alts. I talked to a lot of my friends and other players, and they have made alts, and they were playing on alts because they were bored on their main character, so they just wanted to switch over to different characters. They got done with that character, and people have made a lot of alts. So I think this is an acceptable decision to make raid wide or account wide overall attunement, so you don't have to keep doing it over and over and over again. This is something that needs to be addressed, as long as, or excuse me, not as long, but as well as other things, like, players having to get all these runes across the world, and if they haven't, or if they got them already on 1 or 2 characters, they shouldn't have to repeat the same process of going all across the world back and forth over and over and over again. And for some people struggling at the early levels to even get their runes with other players, or even find the players, right? Obviously, during the time when Phase 3 was really down, obviously in one of the lowest points of Season Discovery with its player base. So I think, a couple things like this, like giving, account-wide attunements, and also maybe even looking to other things like I was just talking about, like runes and stuff like that. This is the type of stuff I want to see, the quality of life to improve things for the players, so they don't need to go through, such annoyances to, have these issues. Yes, it's fine keeping the game classic, and obviously, having to go through that, that entry, that, barrier of entry, where it seems like it's a struggle for some or a struggle for others. At the end of the day, I don't mind that. It's part of the grind. But at the same time, what's fun is fun, and what's boring is boring. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to lean on the side where I think making, it easier for the player base to, get these runes, get this, type of raid-wide or account-wide raid attunement. This is not a problem in my book, where it's like, okay, this is game-breaking for Season Discovery, sod is dead type shit. This is something that I like, in my personal opinion. I don't see 100% a problem with it, but I'm sure people will have a problem with it, because at the end of the day, in the WoW community, people have problems with everything. You could say something's good, and people will give you 1,000 reasons why it's not. You could say something is bad, and people will give you 1,000 reasons why it's good. Not everyone's going to agree with everybody, and I totally, I accept that at the end of the day. However, on to the next one. So, Blackrock Eruption event discovered on SOD Discovery, or PTR. I'm having a brain fart right now. Sorry, guys. Possible new PvE event. However, eagle-eyed players on Season Discovery PTR have noticed a timer in the Blackrock Mountain area of Burning Steppes. The timer reads the Blackrock eruption occurs at midnight and every 2 hours after. This is exciting news, as having a timer in place across the zone implies that some type of open-world event will be introduced. This is similar to the timer seen in Ashenvale for Battlefield Ashenvale, or STV for the Blood Moon World PvP event. These timed events occur multiple times per day and have been very popular with players across phases 1 and 2, and there seems to be a strong appetite for more. We know the event will last 60 minutes, as we observe the timer change to read Blackrock Eruption 60 minutes remaining, as you see here as well. It says it up top every 2 hours that it repeats. With the event starting every 2 hours, this means we can speculate the event will be likely up to 12 hours a day, and this is longer than current events are available for. When asked on Twitter at Agrin, it seems like we have a link here. He said, yeah, the Blackrock thing isn't something we're going to talk about just yet. It's not anything like STV, though. I could see the confusion with that, sure. This has led to players speculate this will be a PvE event rather than PvP, though even if it's a PvE event, historically, open world events attract a lot of world PvP. So, this is really something big that I want to discuss as well, because that is true. That last following sentence that Wowhead, this article provided, which thank you, Wowhead, for the articles in general. That is true. Even with incursions, at the end of the day, I've been a part of both sides of Alliance and Horde. Horde has invaded Alliance in incursions, and Alliance has done vice versa to the Horde. So even though it's supposed to be a PvE event, PvP will naturally happen. If there's no aura or some type of bubble around, the map that's, preventing PvP from happening, or something built within the game, PvP is just going to happen naturally with the PvE event. You're not going to stop it, especially on a PvP server. And a PvE server may be different, but not on a PvP server. So, in general, though, I am really excited for this, because I was really hoping to see a new event anyways. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really care anymore for Stranglethorn Vale. I think STV was fun. It had its time for 2 phases now. 3 phases of STV is a little fucking insane in my opinion. And if we're just going to keep doing this thing where we're updating the loot pool and just updating the loot of incursions and not doing any changes to make it better for the player base, not easier in this case, where I was talking about the last topic where, the raid attunements for your account, or rune reworks on how people get the runes a little bit more easier to make it a little bit more accessible for players, which just because something is accessible doesn't make it where it's like, oh, this is easy now to do. Accessibility is better than having to go all the wrong Azeroth, was my point from before. With this point, I think in general, having your players only repeat STV to be your only PvP event in general, and just updating loot pools, in my opinion, is just not fun. It's lazy, and just being honest with you. And it's the same thing that I've been talking about and preaching in a lot of my other videos in the past, where I was fighting for Ashenvale. I still fight for Ashenvale to this fucking day, baby. To this day, because I think Ashenvale was, you know, it could have been something a little bit more fun if they decided to keep, you know, continuing with that. But they left it behind. They said, okay, now that's just your 1,000 rep a day, and that's all you're going to get. So, okay, we accept that. But STV, this is about to be 3 phases in a row. And there's still issues in STV where people have problems, you know what I mean? So, I really hope things get more polished out. But, like, at the end of the day, I really want to see something else. And Blackrock Eruption, if this is what we're going to get, let's fucking do it. I don't even care if they make it a PvP event. I just want to see what they do with it. I'm very curious to see what it's going to be like, because obvious it's something that's going to happen next phase. I'm really excited because I like that area. It's a massive area for a lot of players to be in. It's going to, you know, draw a lot of activity, and I'm just really, you know, ready to get in there and lock it the fuck in, to be honest with you. This is something that I want to see. I want to know what kind of loot pools they're going to add, what kind of reward system that's going to be locked behind this event, and just go from, you know, from there with that. I thought they were going to do something maybe possibly in, like, the Iraqi Highlands or something like that, or maybe somewhere in the area of South Shore, but it seems like we're going to get something in Blackrock, you know, which is cool. I'm down with it being near BRM, no problem. So, or BRS. I have no problem, you know, being on both sides of the spectrum, on both sides of the map. That's cool. But what are they going to do? I guess we'll just have to leave that until, you know, later on, ladies and gentlemen. However, much love to you. I hope you appreciate the video. And guys, before I go, I'm going to leave it off with this. Just know that I appreciate all your guys' comments below. Guys and ladies, appreciate you both. When I say these things, I come from a point of being truthful about who I am, and I'm being respectable as much as possible. I'm not saying this to, like, trigger anybody or get under people's skin. I just do what I love doing. I love making these videos for you guys, and I enjoy the content that I do. So I hope you guys enjoy it too. You know what I mean? I might not always be right on things, and I may need to get checked and be corrected, and that's fine. You know what I mean? I'm here to learn and grow with you guys as well. So much love to you, amigos, and lock it in. So you guys have a damn good one. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you guys later. Until the next video, for sure. Rest in peace, the broken headset. This is the new improved Steel series, which we don't have a sponsor with that one yet. But why don't you send me one? Why don't you? Logitech, you did me good for a couple years. But get out of here. You'll get shot to in Minecraft. Get out of my channel. Peace.